Peace and blessings, YouTube. This is Lisa Marie Goodson of the Blackberry Beauty Transformative Academy, Ancient African Wisdom for the Modern Sister. Let me have a seat. I'm going to turn on some lights. It is a sunny day today. Do you know it snowed in North Carolina yesterday, but it didn't stick? And it snowed for maybe about 4 hours and it didn't stick. So, hey, it was good. It was good. So, today I'm going to talk about, because people ask me all of the time, you all ask me all of the time, how do I like living in North Carolina? So, this video is entitled, Why I Moved to North Carolina from California. And the reason why I put from California is because a lot of people, especially here, and when we first moved here, it was like, you moved from California to North Carolina. And these are people that are born and raised in North Carolina. So I think that is the responses, a couple of responses. First of all, everybody's always, when you live in a place for so long, you dream about these other places that people come from, and you always wonder why would they want to live where you live. I also think they think that California has like all these things and to do, and it's so beautiful and sunny all the time, and why would you come here? But I moved actually from North Carolina, or to North Carolina from California. For me, I mean, sometimes when people ask, especially my husband, I know he'll say, and I'll say it too, it'll be like, well, we came because of land, or we came because it's more affordable here. But for me, that's not really the reason. Hold on, y'all. For me, I feel like the reason was I really knew and felt that I outgrew North Carolina. Like, that I outgrew that I outgrew California. Like, I knew, like, I felt it and I was feeling it for years. So this video is for you if you're one of those people that you know where you are, it's time to leave, and you don't really know, like, you can't, maybe you have some ideas of why, but you don't have a solid maybe answer of why you need to leave, but you just know on some level that it's over, it's done with. And so that was me. So hold on, y'all. I don't know. I just ate some walnuts, and you know how they get stuck in your throat. So anyway, okay. So let's relax and sit down. So, okay. So for years, okay. So I noticed that when my daughter turned about 14, 15, I started really looking at my own life as my daughter's father and I were not together, but he was a great father in my daughter's life, still in her life. So we were definitely co-parenting, but not in a relationship. And so I wasn't in a relationship myself my daughter, when she was about 14. And I really started thinking about life after being a mother to a young daughter, and eventually now being a mother to a young lady. I really started thinking to myself, what is life going to look like? What could life look like? Because it's not going to be the same. My responsibilities, my daily tasks was really surrounded around, surrounded around her. And it's not going to be like that. So in other words, I started feeling that empty nest syndrome, like they call it. I don't know. The syndrome seems so deep, but the empty nest, situation. I started feeling it. But it was a good thing. It was good. I mean, I cried a lot because I knew I wasn't going to be the mother in the same way. I cried a lot because I knew my daughter would be off to college, and I knew that, that was what she wanted to do. I felt it because everything in high school, once they get in high school, everything is preparing them for college. So if you didn't want to feel it, you start to feel it. And so I knew that the change was coming. The change had already occurred. And at the same time, so me asking myself the question, well, what do I want to do now? Who am I now? First, I had to discover who I was now, that I wasn't going to be, a mother of a little girl, but a mother of a young lady. And I wasn't going to be the mother of a girl that lived in my house, my little baby, but a young lady who lived somewhere else. And I'm so glad that happened. I think that the empty nest, situation, I think it happened so that we can start asking questions about what we really want. Because I think a lot as women, particularly mothers, I think we definitely are living for our children. And the thought is that you feel like you're going to be doing that same thing and being that same mother forever. When you're mothering, it doesn't seem like it's ever going to end until it ends, until that form of it ends, because you're always going to mother, right, on some level, but they don't need you in the same way. And so I really started sitting down. I started asking myself some of those so-called hard questions. And the first one was, am I happy? It wasn't even, am I happy here? It was just strictly, am I happy? Am I happy? And I started, and the answer kept coming up, no. Then I was like, am I happy here? The answer kept coming up, no. Yes. Oh, well, no. No, I wasn't happy. No, I'm not happy here. Why am I not happy here? And I started thinking of all these things, and I thought about, you know what, everything that I thought that I could do, that I needed to do, that I came to California from New York, remember, to do, I felt like I did it. I felt like that there was no more growth in that place anymore for me. So and like I said, everybody, somebody might, when I left New York, it was different. I left New York, I didn't know when I left New York that I didn't feel like I was leaving New York because I felt like New York was no more growth for me. I was younger, it was the thing to do. I mean, apparently, of course, it wasn't, and we can look back now and know that it wasn't, but I wasn't so conscious of the fact that I was leaving New York because there was no more growth for me. I thought it was an opportunity to leave, and I did. And I had never traveled outside of the state at that point of New York State, so it was great. But California, I was older, wiser, I was clear. I knew that I had to go. I started feeling feelings of boredom. I started feeling those feelings of waking up going, is this it? I started talking to myself saying, I'm not even born here. This is not really, I don't have family here. Like, why wouldn't I go? But more than that, y'all, I didn't want to. I know there's a lot of young people, millennials, that are traveling the world and going to different continents. And even though I wasn't their age, I felt the same need to live and explore. I felt the same need not to get old and complacent. And I felt that I didn't think it was over for me. Maybe it was the raw foods, maybe it was the exercise, maybe it was me being in good health, but I did not feel that it was over. I felt like life is just beginning when I saw that. I mean, I was crying because my baby's leaving, but at the same time, I knew that it was an opportunity for me to continue to grow. I think what happens for a lot of us when we get to a certain age, we look at all the good things that are going on in life and people, like our children traveling or our children going back to school, getting degrees or getting a degree at the time. We feel like, oh, that's for them. That's so good. Our children are doing so well. And we tell people ask how our children are doing. We have we could name a list of things that they're doing, accomplishments that they have. But when you ask about us, oh, it's same old, same old. I didn't want to be that woman that said same old, same old. How you doing? Same old, same old. I didn't want to be that. I didn't want to be that. I still have that vigor in me. I still wanted to live in other countries. As a matter of fact, I remember that was back then. I used to watch a lot of HGTV, and I used to watch the House Hunters International. And I dreamt that after my daughter went to school, that I would actually be a person who, because I still do have an online business, that I would decide, live in other countries, at least visit and stay for a long time. That was my dream, like to learn different languages and to live in different countries. And actually, when I think about it now, really just to explore the continent of Africa. And I still want to do that. I still want to visit many countries in Africa. That's where I doubt for me, seriously, I mean, I went to London and I loved it. It was great. But at this point in my life, I doubt seriously if I would spend my money on traveling to European countries unless I go back to London to do work or to work with the Africans, the black folks there. Other than that, my desire, I don't think I would come out of my pocket going to a European country. For me, I need to explore all the many countries or a lot of the countries that I would be interested in Africa. And I still want that. I still want to do that. I'm not old, I'm not tired, I'm not dead. I'm alive and I'm well, and there's so much that I want to do and so much where I want to go. And so I left California because as some will say, as beautiful as the weather was, and as much as I knew the folks, and my life was complacent, it was predictable, it was the same old, and I didn't want it. I didn't want it. And it was a comfort zone for sure. And I couldn't believe how much I said, I know a lot of us ask us, like, what happened? When I left New York, I was like, yes. When I moved to New York to Vegas, I was like, yes, yes. Then I came back home, moved from Vegas to California, yes, yes. Then you have children, you be like, no, no. You don't go for things. And I didn't want to be that. I didn't want to be that, and I still don't. So Why North Carolina? Well, it was Spirit that told me to come here. I had did a speaking engagement in Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas, and I don't know. I said, you know what? I could do the South. And Spirit, I kept asking Spirit, which place, and it came to me, North Carolina. My grandmother was born here. My great grandmother, probably generations back to who knows when, the enslavement Holocaust occurred. We probably were at least in the. I know we were in the South, but maybe even North Carolina for at least 4 or 5 generations. And I felt that I wanted to be back on the East Coast, but I didn't want to be back in New York. I'm just the whole city thing I couldn't do. And coming from California, where I feel like there is a lot of nature, it is a beautiful, beautiful state. When I went to Arkansas, they called it the natural state. I said, "Oh my God, I've been hoodwinked. Like there's beautiful states here in on the East Coast, in the South, and in North Carolina. I fell in love with the green trees, the beautiful cleanliness, the open spaces, the amount of land, the humidity. I prefer the humidity in the summertime, the super hot weather in the summer, the mild winters, right? Love it, love it, love it. Like I love roads instead of, freeways. Not that they have a lot of freeways and highways, but I loved 2-lane roads, and I loved it. I love it, and I still do. And I'm so glad that I did. I know people would ask me, "Oh, is there anything about California you miss?" Not one thing. That's when you know. But when I went to, yeah, not one thing. I've been there for a long time, over 20 years. So if I missed something, then I probably wouldn't have left. But when you know in your heart that you're done, when you know in your heart that this is another place is for you. So I like the excitement of a new place. I still, we have land here. I would love to buy property in Africa. I would love to still be able to live in Africa maybe 3 or 4 months out of the year if I want to. If I don't, hey, I don't have to. But I love North Carolina. I said for me, it feels like I was watching this video. A young sister, 25-year-old. She was born a black woman, of course. Okay, let me say that a black woman, Tanzanian descent, African descent, but born and raised in Sweden. And she talked about the idea of her going to live in Tanzania. And she said to her, so she said, even though, I've visited several times, I was born and raised in Sweden, so living in Tanzania is still like a new experience. And I feel like that call to go home, so many of us as blacks in the diasporas on some level want to connect to our roots. And that's what she said. And so in a lot of ways, coming back to the South for me, or coming to the South, and I say back because of my family being here, is really connecting to our roots. I think at some point everybody's gonna feel that, or maybe at some point everybody does, but maybe they don't do a lot about it. And for me, I needed that. I needed to connect to something that was a part of me. That when we came on these shores, at least on my mother's side, we arrived in the South, and how we have a lot here. Like I said, my husband and I bought the land and the legacy here, and I needed to be here. Just like I need to touch that continent, which I know that I will, and I'll do it sooner than later. So I wanted to ask y'all, like, I mean, I know you're feeling it, like, go for it. Like I say, if you ever say, like, even just from state to state, because when you move physically from state to state, you're actually, at first, you move spiritually, and from spiritual state to state, from mental states to states. So you have to go. I mean, you gotta. But when you do go, let go of the place you used to be and the people you used to know. I mean, you can definitely keep in touch, but I mean, don't let that kind of attachment keep you from exploring, because there's something here. Like I was thinking about how, I work out and I found the gym and I, use it, and the different things that I do here that I never did there because those things were not available. When we say growth, we're really talking about something. You got to really think about it. How can you grow in a place that you've known forever? I mean, how can you grow in your comfort zone? You usually grow outside of your comfort zone. So to be a little uncomfortable is good to know. It's like for me coming to the South, it's almost like going to a new country. I mean, the accents are real. We don't, that's not what you sound like in New York, or that's not what you sound like in California. So it's interesting how sometimes we think, and I still want that experience, that we have to move to another or visit another country to feel like we're in another country. But coming to the South, the farmers market, the accents, the way of life, the talking to you, the kindness to me, the Southern hospitality, I didn't have that in California nor in New York. It's a new way, a new culture, a new place, and it brings out a new you. So I'm very thankful for the move. Now, I want you to know, like, I still have 5 consultations that I'm doing a consultation special. And I believe that they're going to go between today and tomorrow. So I want you to be one of them. If you want to do a one-on-one consultation with me, it's only $100 for an hour, and it's going to be in depth. And maybe it's you. Maybe you're going through the so-called, empty nest, and your children are leaving or have left. Maybe it's not that at all. Maybe you just know that where you are is over, but you just don't know how to move forward, like how to actually do it. Maybe it's any of those things. I know for me, once I had the idea, I mean, I came home to the idea because I visited North Carolina. I had a conference that I went to, and then a sister, and I knew I wanted it, and I came home from Arkansas first and told my husband, who was my husband at the time, but he wasn't really ready. But I held it. I knew that I was getting out of California. It was okay too, because my daughter at that point was probably 15 years old. So I wasn't going anywhere until she finished high school and then college. But I kept it in my heart. I knew it in my heart that I was leaving. And then when I actually visited Carolina, it was a miraculous story by itself. When I actually visited Carolina rather, I knew I visited a sister friend who had land and built a house, and I knew I was sold. And I got my husband; he was ready. My daughter was getting ready to leave. I got robbed by gunpoint in my old place. So I mean, the universe was pushing me out. When you make up your mind, everything in the universe, they say, will conspire for you, not against you. If you're very serious about it, you could have it. So, also, ladies, I want to invite you also to get the Sunday special. I'm going to leave it on special for a little while longer. It's $37. It's called The Body. And it was that, what I talk about in that Sunday special, the one that just passed, I, I, I know that pushed me into moving. I started the whole idea of doing something different. When you do something different, your life is different. When you do things you've never done before, your life becomes a different life. And so for me, the running and the lifting and the working out, it was something I've never done before. And I knew that, I remember every day running in front of the loft my husband and I lived in, we were in California, every day because I wanted to be here. And I felt like I was running to my destiny, running towards that which I wanted. So it was a blessing, like a absolute blessing. And so yeah, I didn't have a lot. So I had moved out the house that I got robbed at gunpoint in Oakland. And then I lived with my sister for 3 months back in Brooklyn. And that opened me up. That was going home. That was the beginning. I went home to where I was born. And my daughter and I, we stayed for 3 months. Came back to California. My daughter went to school. And I and my husband, we worked it out where we wound up coming back to North Carolina and bought land. And I mean, but before we got here, I wanted it. And I did so many things and mentally, physically, and spiritually to make sure it happened. Nothing deterred me. You got to be around positive people in order to have your dreams, because there was no not talking about, we never had a negative thought about why we couldn't be in North Carolina, why we shouldn't be in North Carolina. And when you have that mind that strong, anything could happen. So ladies, remember the women's special, the Black March History, Women's History Month is still on, and I still have some great products for $20 products for a year. I really want you to do that. If you got anything, the Sunday special that just passed, $37, called The Body, powerful. Lessening the Load. Lessening the Load is a beautiful thing. So that's my intensive 21 days. Well, check out the website. But I wanted today, more than anything, I know there's somebody out there that really needs a change. Somebody out there that wants to still live. And I really talk to, I know young folks, a lot of you want it, and a lot of you do, and a lot of you don't. So I'm talking to you too. But I know women that's older, maybe you're younger and your mom is that woman that she always talks about doing something she always wanted to do, but she thinks she's too old or it's too late, or what would it look like, or how can she do it? Pass this video on to somebody to say, this woman did it, I watched her. I watched her do it. And listen, y'all, I ain't done yet. I still got a lot I want to do, and a lot I want to wear, places I want to go, and a lot of experience I want to have, and I want to take you with me. Like I said, I'm gonna YouTube Black women over 50 traveling to Africa specifically, but wherever, because they just don't really see it. And my whole thing about happy black woman, how to be a happy black woman or Black Woman's Guide to Happiness is we have to start seeing it. It's not over for us. You know, as a matter of fact, I'll be speaking live in person in Durham, North Carolina, March 17th, this Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The tickets are on website. You can find it, and it's going to be the bomb. And I'm really talking about it. I'm talking. It's called a lecture, 2-hour lecture called "A Black Woman's Guide to Happiness." It's not over. I know a lot of young people like, let me do it before I get old. You don't have to get old like that. Old is when you still get complacent. And everybody else that is older, it ain't too late. And don't ever let nobody tell you it is, because it's a lie. So let me see who we got here. All the beautiful ladies that's on. Hey, Yasmin, good afternoon. J.H., good afternoon. Lisa, Warren, and sisters, thank you. Queen, good afternoon to you, too. Hey, Gabrielle. Hi, everyone. Oh, my God, I want to move from Alabama to Cali. You could do it. You could do it. Hey, Miss Tony, so nice talking to you, beautiful queen. Oh, my God, you did. I moved from New York to NC and got the same question. Oh, yeah, people don't get it, right? Hey, Renetta, because but you can understand. Greetings. Gabrielle says, I asked myself the same thing. I feel the exact way. Says, Shay, I'm so glad to hear. Hey, exist in nature. I've had those feelings, yes. Gabrielle says, yes, I feel you. Thank you. Hey, Teblez, I live in Durham. Durham made some big improvements. Where do you grocery shop? I grocery shop at the farmer's market, but when I do go to the actual grocery store, I go to Whole Foods just for, I couldn't even count Whole Foods because I do so very little shopping in Whole Foods. So I'm going to say I shop at a grocery store called Weavers. There's a Weavers in Hillsborough. There's a Weavers in Carborough, and I go to the one in Carborough, and it's a co-op, a grocery. Now it's kind of like Healthy Foods co-op, and the prices are way better than Whole Foods. I only get Whole Foods. I only shop at Whole Foods if there's nowhere else that has the item that I want. Then we'll go there. But most of our food, we go to the Raleigh Farmers Market. We really like the Raleigh's Farmers Market, so that's what we go. So we go all the way out. We drive an hour each way to do that. So great question, and let me see any more. House hunter made me want to get away. Right, exist in nature. You said I could relate. Love that. I wanted to live part-time in Costa Rica or St. Kitts, and you still got time, Miss Tony. Gabrielle says, exist in nature. Me too. I watch it sometimes just to get away in my mind, laugh out loud. But you know what? Whatever comes in here will happen in the flesh. Whatever's in the mind will happen in the flesh. As a man and woman thinketh, so it is. So you got to now, I want to teach y'all how to take that and turn that into what you really want. Ladies, if you need a consultation, come get in touch with me. Gabrielle said, I think the South is great for someone who has accomplished much like you. You know what? And I agree with you. I think, let me say this. I think the South, because I don't want to look at it as like a retirement place. Like you go when you accomplish. I feel like I ain't finished accomplishing, but I hear what you're saying, but I feel like I'm not finished accomplishing. I think it could be great for a lot. I think that you're right. If you're coming to look for a job, I don't know the job market. But I think that if you have an online business or create something that you're, making, doing what you love, then I think that anywhere in the world is good. I think that it's a different experience, no doubt, coming here and having a business already in place, although energetically there's still changes in the business, even though you still online, it's an energy change. But I think opportunity is everywhere. There's a lot of opportunity in the South and a lot of good things going on. I just think that we have to come together and meet. And so we created a show, my husband and I. It's our Afrocentric Home Decor and Style channel, a YouTube channel, but we have a segment on there called In Our Own Image, and once a month show that we create really highlighting all the goodness in North Carolina and in Black North Carolina. And there's a lot going on. I think that we don't see, or we come here and kind of get stuck, or wherever. You could get stuck in California, stuck in New York, stuck anywhere. I think that before you move, if you're looking because you're tired of a place, the change really has to occur within you. And once the change really occurs within you, then the body will follow. Free your mind and the rest will follow. It really is true. So I do think that, so there's some people that can go different places and be the same or see the worst, right? But I think it's an opportunity for anybody. So I hear what you're saying, established. So definitely, in that way. But I know that I had Southerners say, you highlighting things in North Carolina I ain't never even been to, never saw, and they right here in North Carolina. Just like I was in New York, and there was things I remember I had told somebody at one point I had never been to the Empire State Building until I started working in it. There's just so much you don't do when you live in a certain place. So I think that's just an opening of the mind. And it depends on what you want. I wanted land and I know we could get it here. I knew that. And I know that I want assets, like I want to buy a real estate income property. You can get some nice three unit buildings for $30,000 in certain towns. I want to build wealth so that I can feel better about living or traveling. Like if I go somewhere and I love it, I want to buy something. I don't want to just be in Africa and be like, hey, look at me, Instagram, all the pictures. I want to be actually, knowing I own a piece of that rock right there. You know what I'm saying? And a place for my whole family to come summer times or wherever we want to go. So my two things are going on for me. I want to live abundantly, but I want to create a lifestyle where I can. I want to create economically where I can. I don't probably make as much more money than anybody else. It's what you do with it, and I'm learning that more and more. And I can help you to learn that. I mean, if you do a consultation with me, we'll talk budget, what you really need. It's not as much as people think. So I'm on my way to building wealth. Every day I still got to work. This is my work, as far as my business. But I want it because I want that life of ease. And it's not too late. Even if you're 50 or 20, it's not too late. So, but great observation. I thank you so much for sharing. I love to hear from y'all. So y'all keep going. Uh, Yes, let's see. Gabrielle says, I think this, okay, yes. Exist Nature says, Gabrielle, I'm pushing to be where the sun shines more often. Ashe. Gabrielle says, Exist Nature, girl, me too. People ask me why Cali. I say, because it's pretty and because it's sunny. Laugh out loud. I know that sunny is good. Hey, Sandra, good day to you. Exist says, my son lives in San Diego. He loves it. San Diego is beautiful. It's near the water. It's warm all the time. Absolutely. I love it. Yeah, it says, girl, bye. Okay, San Diego. Okay. Gabrielle says, my friend will benefit from the consultation. She's feeling like she don't know how to move on. Absolutely, that'd be wonderful. Pass it on, because I know a lot of people feel that way, and I want to inspire people. Miss Tony says, I am moving back to South Carolina to embrace a part of myself that I abandoned when I was a little girl, running from some painful experience. I get it. Couldn't see the beauty of it all. Right. Absolutely, right? Hey, Jacqueline, the visionary, says, hello, Lisa. I made a live stream. I'm a little late, though. Okay, I got to make sure I look at it. Hey, Lamika Jones. My family's from NC. I'm the only one born in D.C. I felt like the earth in NC was calling me, so I moved to Raleigh, NC. I have never felt so much peace while walking on land that my family fought for, Lamika, and you got it, Miss Jones. Yes, ma'am. That's how I feel too. Yasmin says, I want to move from Connecticut to NC, but the school districts are horrible. Most places I researched, the schools are under 7, like in Connecticut, are worried about kids' education. Now that's interesting, because when I first got here, maybe, because California is not that great as far as education in school either. I know California was not in the hot in the first 10 for sure as far as great schools. Now that's interesting, because I met a couple of people here that said that the schooling here was actually great, that there was a lot of more discipline, the children really learned. So I think you got to come and see. Because I think I've had people have the opposite. I mean, I think a lot of them, kids here too, wind up going to colleges and going to black colleges at that and doing very well. So come see for yourself and talk to people before you let that throw you out of it. So, just this a little advice. Hey, Gabrielle says, over 50 would not have cash. You look so young. Thank you. Exist says, age is mental. Absolutely. Hey, Exist. Shanika says, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. It's not over. This is the remix. Yes, ma'am. I love that, Sandra. Jacqueline, the visionary, says, you are right. This is the remix. Yes. Ted Lev says, Ro, when and where are you speaking in Durham? So I'm speaking in a place called Ngozi, but in order to get in, you got to go to my website. It's called Speaking in in Durham, North Carolina. I'll leave it in the description box. It's March 17th, so it's this Saturday, March 17th, from 5 to 7 p.m. It's a 2-hour lecture with light refreshments. Of course, I'll be there a little later because I'm going to be meeting and greeting y'all, but we're going to have an actual lecture on a Black woman's guide to health. And happiness, rather. A Black woman's guide to happiness. So if you want to come, y'all, I will leave the link to the lecture in Durham, but I'm going to be on Main Street, which was the Black Wall Street, and it's a boutique, and but you got to buy your ticket to get in. So I really would love to see you there, darling. Decadent Brother says, you are speaking to my soul. Ashe, how are you today, Queen? Gabrielle says, yes, definitely not finished yet. I like how you say you go to where you are led. Yes, I meant because the energy is more relaxed. I will benefit from consultation too. I would love that. Gabrielle says, ever thought about homeschooling? That's what I do. That's another thing. I recommend homeschool. My daughter was in black alternative schools, so black schools, and they were absolutely amazing. But then she wanted to go to public school, and it was okay, but I would homeschool if I could do it again. Lisa, did you say the Sunday special is called? It's called The Body. You will see it's called Sunday Special. So if you go and look it up on my website, but I'll leave the direct link, Jacqueline. I'll leave it right as soon as I get off. But it's called The Body. Sunday Special, The Body. I think you'll love it. Gaz and Gabrielle, I think about it. Yeah, y'all. So think about it too. I understand like you have to think about a lot when you're moving, but also make sure you know I go where I'm led. I'm going out like for me, even Africa, yes, my people are from the Cameroon, but I feel led to Tanzania. It's just something that's coming, just like I was felt led to North Carolina. So it's where you're led from, you're led to. It's like the universe is opening up a space for you because you created it. All that watching HGTV, that stuff gets in you like you want it. And you want it now. You know what I'm saying? So even though you think you may just be, passing time or it makes you feel good for the moment, remember it's the feelings that get the blessing. So every time you feel good when you're watching something, it's going into your psyche, it's going into your pores and your cells, and eventually you're going to create it. Anything you want, you really could have. There's just steps. It's just like when a successful businesses, they have strategies and systems that they're implemented every day. I'm realizing this. You could be the most talented, the most smartest. You could have all the answers, but if you don't have a strategy or a system, if you don't have a way to get there, if you don't have a roadmap, that's the only thing stopping you from your success. It's taking all that wishful thinking, it's taking all those dreams, those affirmations, those visions, and really turning it into something concrete. That's what if you want to talk about that, I'll do that for you because I don't know, like I'm becoming more concrete even, but I realized that when my husband and I, like the husband will say, oh, one day Africa or one day here. See, I don't deal with the one day. I told him that. I said, you talking the wrong person. One day, how are we going to do it? Okay, so what we need, okay, so it's cost this much. Well, I found out that in Tanzania it's called 2 shillings and 10,000 2 shillings is about $2. Like I'm doing the work. I'm doing the work, okay? So North Carolina, okay, so we pay so-and-so an acre. If you go down near, okay, I found a threeplex about $30 if you go to a town called Clemson. I mean, like, I'm doing the work. You understand? Like, let me tell you how to get there. I'll show you how to get there. Because that's what I do. And so, but also now I have a marketing strategist that's working with me for my business. And it's not how to reach more people. That's systems. That's implementation. If you have a business you don't know, that's about really saying, what do I want? What do I need? What do I have? How do I use what I have to get it? But there's systems. There's things you have to do this week and things you have to do next week. And then there's things you have to do the week after. And I think for us, we are so used to fantasizing. We're so used to dreaming. We're so used to wishing that we forget that the Creator ain't make nothing that you couldn't have. Now, wait, let me say it again now. The Creator has not made anything that you can't have. If it's made, you can have it. It's just ways to get it. And I think that that's where I'm not. I think the 50 for me, what happened for me was no more of the wishy-washy wishing really about something that other people have. If other people have it, why can't I have it? If other people doing it, why can't I do it? When I came to North Carolina and the sister and her husband, black couple, had 10 acres of land and they built a house, see, that was it for me. If they could do it, I could do it too. I didn't need to know much more. It wasn't like they was millionaires. They was, had good jobs, but it wasn't millionaires. It wasn't about that. It's the right place at the right time doing the right thing. When you go towards the universe, we're like, okay, where's your laid plans? So, I'm doing my 21-day intensive. It's called Lessening the Load, a Black Woman's Guide to Happiness. And that's what the kind of stuff that we're talking about. We're using our body, and that's why anybody that's buying the Sunday special, you would have the 2 hours of that intensive for $37. It's still on the website. I'm using my body to use that same thing. Think about athletes. I love athletes. People think that athletes, I don't know what they think about. Like athletes are jocks or athletes are not smart. Let me say this to you. That discipline that they have, I don't even know sports, but I love watching. Like when I want to watch, I don't like watching sports actually, but let's say I'm somehow the sports channel's on, and you ask the guy, be like, Tyrone Davis, how did you? What y'all didn't really do too well in the Super Bowl. What's your plan for next year? He said, well, you know what? I'm gonna get back in there, and I'm going to train a little harder, and I'm going to sit down and look at what I didn't do right or what I need to improve on, and then next year I'm gonna come back, and next year he does. It's that same kind of way. When I say I'm going to gym Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I'm doing my yoga. I'm saying to you, it's a strategy. Every day I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna get more. I'm gonna get stronger. Anything you do in the physical will manifest in the mental. Anything you do in the mental will manifest in the spiritual. When will it not? When it just stays up here. Visualizing is beautiful, but if it ain't getting you nowhere, you got to take that down and put it up in here. And that's what the Sunday special that just passed, $37, normally $97. It's called Sunday Special, The Body, or the one-on-one consultation. It's really kind of showing you how, when I moved from California to Carolina, this was the stuff that was going on. I was like, okay, I know I gotta show my discipline. And sometimes maybe right now you're not disciplined in saving money. Maybe right now you're not disciplined in researching where you want to go. But maybe right now you could be disciplined in getting yourself in shape. And I know you think what the two got to do with each other. Don't think Eurocentric. Think Afrocentric. Everything is everything. Everything has something to do with what you're doing. There's nothing in the physical you are doing that did not come from the mental, did not come from the spiritual. There's nothing from the spiritual or the physical that is not going to come to the mental. Do you understand what I'm saying? There is no past, present, or future. It's only one. It's only now. And as an African, you got to understand that, because that's how we're going to get what we want. You got to open your mind and really decompress from the Eurocentric linear way of thinking. Maybe the universe, if the universe say you need to move somewhere, then get with somebody that can help you get there. Get with somebody that's realistic, that looks like you, that loves you like I do. I love you. It's not too late. It's never too late. And you got to do it. And you learn a lot on the way, and you learn a lot when you get there. And you're a better person. You got more of what your goals, you will see them. You just check that off the list. Be like, okay, I did that, next. When you build physical muscle, you have the possibility to build mental muscle. And then you have the possibility to build spiritual muscle. So let's build that together. So anyway, the one-on-one consultation, I only got 5 of them left. So if you want it, go to the website. Give me a chance. Let me put in the subscription box the Talk in Durham in the subscription box, the link to the Sunday special that just passed, the body, the link, $37. I got something for everybody. The link to the 21-day intensive, I'll link that in the subscription box as well. I love y'all. Let me see. Okay, let me get everybody. I ain't get everybody. Now got to be fair here. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes, it's called The Body. Yes, Gabriel, I did think about it. Ashe. Gabriel says yes. And hey, boo, hey, Spirit Flower, how are you? All right, y'all, I'm getting ready to go to Durham because I want to go to the boutique to plan for Saturday Durham's talk. So we got to, iron out all the logistics of how it's going to go. And I hope I see you there. Anybody that could be in the area. I got some people coming from Alabama. I got some sister coming from Florida. I got another sister coming from Detroit, another one from D.C. So we're definitely going to have a few people. It's supposed to be 25 people. If I promoted more, it would have been. So it's going to be an intimate gathering, probably less than 20, or maybe not. It might fill up by then. But don't wait. If you want to come on. All right, ladies. Love you all with all my heart. For Ken Wisdom for the modern sister. Peace and blessings.